it's becoming pretty obvious that some of these Democratic politicians especially are trying to make this pandemic as painful as possible. And I'm not downplaying the coronavirus. I want to make that clear. Like, obviously, many people have gotten sick from it. Millions of people have gotten sick from it. Almost 200,000 people have died in this country of the coronavirus. But again, it's just, there's a lot of misinformation, and the Democrats are trying to make this as painful as possible. And we see it just discussing these stories that we're talking about right now, that the fact that if it were that serious, there wouldn't be a city gym open for city employees.
Right.
And in the San Francisco story, the the owner of CrossFit says it's infuriating. And, I don't know the politics of this person, but I think when they start to see these examples over and over again, it's going to start to wake people up. And that's why I keep talking about it.
Well, Stephanie, and also, please, there's a difference between dying with and dying from. If the media would have explained that these are the people that just died of COVID, and these are the people that died with it because they had other comorbidities, we could have understand that. But what they did was they tried to scare the public, put fear in the public, and you don't do that to the public.
And they added the numbers together that inflated the numbers to make it appear like all of these people were dying just because of COVID.
Right. And that's what's not being told.
That's right.
We are not downplaying the serious of COVID-19. This virus exists. It is serious and it is real. But when we see our politicians that's telling us to go inside and wear a mask, but they out getting their hair done without a mask, that's a problem for me. I'm looking at all of this here. The virus is real, but the scam is all of the foolishness that they're doing surrounding it, trying to scare we the American people.
And Diamond and Silk will not comply with the lie.
Yeah, and a lot of these health officials lost me when they were looking the other way on the riots and the protests in regards to coronavirus. And then some of them actually said that, it wasn't a big deal. I'm like, well, actually, wait a minute. You were arresting people who were protesting the lockdowns, who were just like a couple dozen of them outside. Yet the protesters and looters who are shoulder to shoulder, you have no problem with that.
That's right. And if you can go out there in the street and protest and not have a mask, you can go to the polls and vote. But this is what they do. Does it make sense? It makes sense. Hundreds of thousands of people are in the streets riding, acting a fool, but we don't have to test them. Oh, COVID is not spreading. Or we don't have to track and trace them. But everybody else, you need to go inside, flatten your livelihoods. We don't care about your business. I don't care if you can't buy food. And then you got Nancy Pelosi in front of a $20,000 refrigerator eating on a $20 box of ice cream. Does it make sense? This is not making sense anymore. It's time for Americans to stand up. Instead of looking at, y'all better start looking into what these people are trying to do to this country. And you better vote right so you won't get left. Vote for Trump.
Yeah, all of these things are truly infuriating, and we're totally out of time, but there were a couple things I also wanted to hit on. It looks like Australia was giving Tom Hanks a little celebrity privilege. They're going to overlook the quarantine for him and his wife so they could go finish shooting a movie. And then also recently there was the VMAs in New York City, MTV Awards, and those celebrities didn't have to follow the quarantine rules in New York either. They got an exception. The list goes on.
It's exempt from the virus.
No, the virus knows where to stop and where to go. Yeah, that's what this. See, it just don't make sense. It's crazy.
It absolutely is. Well, we're gonna have to leave it here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.